Hi, welcome to our channel where I share tips and tricks on how to start anything you want. In this video, I'm going to talk about a common obstacle that many people face when they want to start something new, the belief that they need to learn a certain skill before they can start. You might have heard this advice before: you need to learn how to do X before you can start doing Y. For example, you might think that you need to learn how to code before you can start building a website, or that you need to learn how to play an instrument before you can start making music, or that you need to learn how to speak a language before you can start traveling. But is this advice really helpful? Or is it actually holding you back from starting something that you are passionate about? In this video, I'm going to explain why this advice is not only wrong, but also harmful. I'm going to show you how this belief is actually a form of procrastination, and how it can prevent you from achieving your goals. I'm also going to give you some practical tips on how to overcome this belief and start doing what you love right now. So, why do we think that we need to learn a certain skill before we can start something? Well, there are many possible reasons, but one of the most common ones is fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of criticism, fear of embarrassment, fear of not being good enough. These fears can make us feel insecure and doubtful about our abilities, and they can make us look for excuses to avoid taking action. One of these excuses is the belief that we need to learn a certain skill before we can start something. This belief gives us a false sense of security and comfort, because it makes us feel like we are doing something productive and useful, when in fact we are just delaying the inevitable. It also gives us a false sense of control and perfectionism, because it makes us feel like we can avoid making mistakes and facing challenges, when in fact we are just missing out on opportunities and experiences. This belief is actually a form of procrastination, because it prevents us from taking action on our goals and dreams. Procrastination is defined as the act of delaying or postponing something. Procrastination can have many negative consequences, such as wasting time, losing motivation, feeling guilty, missing deadlines, lowering self-esteem, and reducing performance. Procrastination can also affect our psychological well-being, because it can create cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is defined as the state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes. Cognitive dissonance can cause stress, anxiety, frustration, confusion, and dissatisfaction. For example, if you want to start a blog, but you think that you need to learn how to write well before you can start writing posts, you might experience cognitive dissonance. On one hand, you have the desire and intention to start a blog. On the other hand, you have the belief that you are not ready or qualified to start a blog. These two thoughts are inconsistent and contradictory, and they can create a lot of mental tension and discomfort. So, how can we overcome this belief and stop procrastinating? How can we start doing what we love right now? Here are some tips that might help. Challenge your belief. Ask yourself, is it really true that I need to learn a certain skill before I can start something? Where did I get this idea from? Is it based on facts or assumptions? Is it realistic or idealistic? Is it helpful or harmful? You might realize that your belief is not as valid or logical as you thought. You might also realize that there are many examples of people who started something without having a certain skill or qualification. For example, did you know that Steve Jobs never learned how to code, or that Ed Sheeran never learned how to read music, or that Mark Twain never finished school? These people did not let their lack of skills stop them from pursuing their passions. They learned by doing, not by waiting. Focus on your strengths. Instead of focusing on what you don't know or can't do, focus on what you do know or can do. What are your talents, skills, interests, experiences, values, passions? How can you use them to start something that matters to you? You might discover that you have more resources and abilities than you thought. You might also discover that your unique perspective and voice are valuable and needed in the world. For example, if you want to start a podcast, but you think that you need to learn how to speak well before you can start recording episodes, focus on your strengths. Maybe you have a lot of knowledge or insights on a certain topic. Maybe you have a lot of stories or anecdotes to share. Maybe you have a lot of humor or charisma to entertain. Use these strengths to create content that is informative, engaging, and authentic. Start small. Instead of trying to learn everything at once, or trying to achieve perfection from the start with something simple and manageable. Break down your goal into smaller and easier steps, and focus on one step at a time. For example, if you want to start a YouTube channel, but you think that you need to learn how to edit videos before you can start uploading videos, start small. Start with a short and simple video, using your phone or webcam. Start with a topic that you are familiar with or passionate about. Start with a format that is easy and fun for you. Don't worry about the quality or the outcome. Just focus on the process and the learning. Get feedback. Instead of waiting until you feel ready or confident, get feedback from others as soon as possible. Feedback can help you improve your skills, learn from your mistakes, and discover new opportunities. Feedback can also help you validate your ideas, gain support, and build an audience. For example, if you want to start a business, but you think that you need to learn how to market before you can start selling your product or service, get feedback. Get feedback from your potential customers, partners, mentors, peers, or anyone who can give you honest and constructive feedback. Ask them what they think about your product or service, what they like or dislike, what they need or want, what they would pay or recommend. Use this feedback to refine your product or service, adjust your price or promotion, and grow your business. These are some tips that can help you overcome the belief that you need to learn a certain skill before you can start something. Remember that learning is not a prerequisite for starting. Learning is a consequence of starting. The best way to learn anything is by doing it. So don't let this belief stop you from starting something that you are passionate about. Start now, learn later. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I would love to hear from you. See you in the next video.